Hello, fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today with an exciting video brought to you with the help of Frame It Easy. A huge thank you to them for providing the possibility of doing today's video, and let's just jump on in. Okay guys, I am here at frameiteasy.com. You can see that up here in the address bar. And the first thing I'm going to do is design your frame. They have a lot of other things that you can look at. They've got their help and support, obviously. They've got some resources if you want to, educate yourself a little bit on how to do it. You can go here at frame styles and look at all of the different frame styles that they've got. But I'm just going to go to design your frame, which is where you end up at the home page. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to order custom picture frames. So I have a kit that I'm going to be ordering a frame for. So what I have is I've already measured out the artwork that I want to use, and I have written down the measurements for the piece of art. Now it's in inches instead of centimeters, so you're going to need to remember to convert that. And then you're going to need to remember, you can see here it says, your art will be covered by 1/4 inch on each side. I personally do not like to have any of the artwork covered. I want all of my diamonds to show through the frame. I want to remember that because I'm going to need to add 1/4 inch on each side to my sizes. So that means 1/2 inch for the width and 1/2 inch for the height that you will need to add once you've converted it, in order to make sure that all of your drills show in the frame. If you don't care about having to cut off a row or two of diamonds, then you can just measure it and then cut as appropriate for when you get your kit. So this particular one that I'm going to be doing, I actually am going to be using a partial. It is 16 inches. And you can see you can go here from 16 all the way to 62, 16, and I need mine to be 0 inches. Because this one is a partial, I don't need to worry about the 1/4 inch on each side. If it covers up 1/4, it's not going to be covering up any of my drills because it is a partial, so I'm not going to worry about that. And then it is 18 inches. Again, you just pick what you need. And then it measured 18 and 15/16 inches. And you can see here it goes down to 16th, 8ths, quarters, however specific you need to get. If you want them to print a photo or a piece of artwork, you can do that as well. Since I'm framing a diamond painting, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to continue to step 2. So here you can see the selection of all the different styles and types of material that they have. So they have a metal, and you can see here the colors that they have. These metals down here, the flat metals, only come in this silver and black. This 7/8 inch rounded metal only comes in silver. You can get this 3/8 inch rounded metal in a bunch of different colors, as well as this flat metal. They do have a wood style that you can get, and 3 different ones. They have this ornate wood style. They have kind of this flat wood, and then a natural wood which has kind of more of a grain to it. Or you can click up here and only look at if you only want wood or if you only want metal. And then you're just going to pick what you want. And sometimes what I have done is I will go back up here and I will upload a photo of my finished diamond painting just so that I can see what it's going to look like, because it's going to show you over here in this little preview window what your artwork will look like. So I am going to, let's say I wanted to get something in this rustic gray. You click on it and then you can see over here on the right it changes that little preview. Maybe I want that in russet instead. And again, if you've uploaded your artwork, this preview over here will show your artwork with the frame around it, so you can kind of get an idea of what it might look like. Maybe I want to get this wood one. You can see this one has a little bit less of a grain than the Derby, the Dayton does. You can get it in gold. And again, it's, or maybe I want to get something a little more ornate. So I want this white one that has kind of the little rope edges around it. Maybe I want that in gold instead. So you can kind of play around with this. I have uploaded previously a picture, and so I know what I want. And what I want is this Ashford 3/8 inch flat metal, and my picture is pink and red. So I'm going to get this in their red. And you can see here, as you pick different options, not only does it change your preview, but it changes the price so you know where you're at. So, you know, different materials are going to cost different amounts. I'm going to go with this one, and then I'm going to continue to step 3. Now, for me personally, I always choose no matte. You can get a matte if you want to. And again, if you have your artwork up here, you know, you can pick what color you want. You can see it's now added a matte over here on the preview. You can get a double matte so that you've got this white outer matte and then you've got a different color inner matte if you want to. You can change the colors. Maybe I want to make it red, so you've got that. You can do whatever you want. I always personally, because I'm framing diamond paintings, I don't want a matte. I want the focus to be on the diamond painting. So I always pick no matte. And then for cover, and you can see each step, it will update if you make any changes. So for instance, if I went back up here and said single matte, then the price changes so that you know what you want. And then if you go to cover, they offer 2 options. They have a clear acrylic, and then they have a non-glare acrylic. Now the non-glare costs a bit more, but it diffuses light. So, you know, if you're going to hang it someplace that you might get a lot of glare, then that might be what you need. I typically pick clear, but in this instance, I'm going to pick the non-glare just so I can see the difference. I'm going to be ordering a couple of frames, so I want to see what the difference is for the non-glare. It says both of them protect your art from some UV light. Most of mine are going to be hanging inside my house, so I'm not super concerned with that. If you were going to be hanging a painting right by a window or you know, a door, like a patio door or French door that there might be a lot of sunlight coming through, then that might be an issue for you. I'm going to get the non-glare, as I said, but I do like the clear. Typically is what I get is the clear, because I think that lets more of the sparkle of the diamond shine through. The non-glare, because it's non-glare, just doesn't work as well, but I'm going to try it. I've not bought non-glare from Frame It Easy before, so we'll see how it works. And then all I have to do is, here's my price. All I'm ordering is this, again, with the non-glare. I am not ordering a matte. And if you want to have them print a piece of artwork, you can do that as well, if I didn't mention that. Okay, so I've got everything, and then I'm just going to add it to cart, and that will add it to my cart. And then I am free to, if I want to, go check out the cart, make sure that everything is the size that I want. And you can see here, it shows you my art size is 16 by 18 and 15/16, which is what I put in. It's going to show me the outside frame. So from the outside edge of the frame to the outside edge of the frame is going to be 16 3/16 by 19 1/8 inch. It's got the Ashford in red, which is what I picked out. It's got my non-glare acrylic, and then all of them come with an acid-free foam core backing. So I can either go view my cart, I can, if I'm done, check out, or I can continue shopping. I have some other shopping to do, so I'm going to go do that, and then I will be right back with the next step. Okay guys, I am here with the first of my Frame It Easy frames. You can see it's nicely packaged. It came in the huge box. This particular one is a metal frame. I ordered 2 metal frames and 2 wood frames, and they're all kind of different sizes, and this particular one I ordered with their non-glare acrylic because I wanted to see the difference. I've tried using non-glare previously from other companies, and I don't know if it's what you want for diamond paintings because I felt like it dulled the shine, which is not what you want. So I will see how this one works. But I need to get this out of the packaging first. Now, on their instructions, on their website, they have instructions for how to do metal frames. First of all, be very, very careful. These edges here are cut so they can miter the corners together for the size that you need, which means they're super sharp. So be careful of those. Now, according to the instructions, what I need to do is loosen the screws of one screw from each of these little insert pieces on the two ends where I'm going to be pulling this basically out so I can insert the art, then put everything back together. It's got the tool kit over there, so I'm going to kind of unsnap everything here and we'll see how it goes. So you can see I've got the hardware package here. I've got a hanger with the screws. I've got the hanging wire with the little pieces that will go into the frame to hold the wire that will hold the picture hanger. And then you've got these little flexible pieces, which I'm assuming slide in between the frame and your piece of art to hold it into place. I believe they're made to go in the corners. Let me get the rest of this cardboard out of the way and I will be right back. Okay, so you can see here is the frame, and the acrylic pieces come with protective film on both sides, so I will need to peel that off. This is my 16 by 18 and 15/16 frame. This is the frame, this red one, is the frame that I bought for my bubblegum spaniel. I did not cut, I cut the extra from Diamond Art Club off around this, but I have extra around this. So we just tried to measure. If some of this is going to need to get cut off, that's okay with me. I wanted the size of the dog to fit in it pretty well. So we'll see. It looks like it's pretty much the size that it is. So we'll see. So the first thing I need to do is loosen the two screws here at the bottom. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, I just grabbed an old towel and then I went back and read the instructions. I'm loosening the wrong one here. So let me get this back in there and tightened up. Okay, so don't make the mistake that I did. You're not meant to loosen these bottom ones. You're meant to loosen these here, and then it should just slide out according to the instructions. Learn from my mistakes. This bottom piece should just slide out. There we go. Let me get it loose here. Okay. So now I've just got this bottom piece loose and I can do all of the things that I need to do for framing it. And if I flip this around, you can see it's just kind of all sandwiched in here. There's my acrylic, there's my foam backing, and then I need to sandwich my painting in there. So I've got my foam backing here. I'm going to lay my art on top of it. Oh, you guys, it looks like my husband and I did a pretty good job of measuring. That fits almost perfectly on the acrylic, and I'm not going to worry about the edges of this one because it's a partial, so it just needs to look like that. And then I just need to peel off their protective film. So there's one sheet gone. And then peel off the other side. Now, this is the one that is anti-glare. Let me see if it says. It just says remove this protective film. Now, it said that for the anti-glare, the shiny side should be towards your painting, your art, and the more dull side should be towards the outside. But I'm gonna work this off and then I will be right back. Okay, so I've gotten all of the covering off. You can see I'm gonna wipe it. They recommend that you wipe everything with a microfiber cloth just to make sure that there's nothing kind of sticking to it. So you can see that it's anti-glare. If I see this side, ooh, that's much less glare. So I'm gonna guess this is the shiny side. I can see the reflection of my lights there. Can I see the see, that's, you can't see the reflection there. So that's the side that needs to go on the outside. So I'm going to place that on top of my painting. Oh, you guys, I'm so happy my measurements came out. My husband and I talked about this as we were doing it to make sure that we were doing it the right way, and so happy that it worked out. So that's almost perfect. You can see I've got my painting, I've got the foam backing sandwiched in there, the sandwich or the foam backing, my painting sandwiched in there, and now I've got my acrylic on top. So now I need to carefully slide it back into the frame without scratching the acrylic on the top, and then I need to reattach the bottom piece, and then we'll go from there. So now I've got my sandwich of everything in here, and I'm going to flip it over carefully. Again, watch out for those edges. And then I'm going to reattach the pieces here for the bottom part of the frame. And I'm lifting up to make sure that I've got the artwork inside the frame like that. And now I just need to reattach the screws in the corners. There it is. Now it looks good, but you can see it's very loose in the frame. And I need to put the pieces on the back so that I can hang it. Oh, I've got little corners here so that I can put little corner pieces on the bottom if I need to. My picture hanger and the nails for that, I'm gonna put in there so I don't lose them. These, oh, they have little screws attached, so you can just set them in here and then screw them in so they tighten up to the frame. So they just sit in there like that. But before I put those in, I'm going to open these because these are the pieces that will hold my painting tight to the frame. So you get these, and you can see they're very flexible. So see how much of a bend they have in them. You can make them straighten. And then I'm just going to put it in here and slide it under. So just push these down. Get one in there where you kind of think you need it, and then push it down, and you push them towards the edge of the corner, and then they just lock into place. And now that I have those in there, you can see that my painting is no longer moving. It's being held tight in the corners. My painting entirely in its frame. I've got the anti-glare, which actually I don't think dulls the shine that much at all. Let me bring this a little bit closer. I'm gonna hold it up and then I'm gonna zoom in, and you can see, even though it is diffusing the light on from the glare, I can still see the shininess of the AB diamonds. Maybe a tad less shiny, but I'm actually really happy with this. It probably doesn't translate really well onto film, but I can still see as I'm moving and tilting, I can still see kind of the glimmers and sparkles off of the drills. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. Okay, so now I need to put the little anti-scratch pads on the corners. So on the corners here, I need to put the little scratch pads to keep it from scratching up my walls once I get it hung. And then I need to attach the little rails for the hanging wire, so I'm gonna do that. Let's say I want them 4 inches from the top. So get that lined up. And then I want this one 4 inches from the top. So those are not going anywhere. And then I just need to string my wire. Now they send you more wire than you will need. You just slip it in here. Their advice is to twist it on itself, and then you just cut the length to whatever you need so that you can hang your picture. I have my beautiful framed diamond painting. So let me show you what else I got. Okay guys, this is the second frame that I ordered from Frame It Easy. This one is one of their wood frames. So you can see it's a bit of a different configuration. Instead of the metal that I need to kind of pull apart, This has those little, I don't know what you call them, like little flap things. They're metal pieces that you fold up, so I can pull the backing and the acrylic out, and then I will be able to slip it all in. You can see they have already attached up at the top the wire for me. It's not put on there very tightly, so I can move it out of the way if I need to, or I can just try and you know, do it, slip it in and slip it out. I will probably undo it and move that out of the way. I will move it back into place and tighten it up once I have all of the artwork. Now, this is the one my bubblegum spaniel was a metal, a red metal, and I can't remember the name of the red, but I'll put it down here at the bottom, and I'll link to a Frame It Easy down below. This one is one of their wood ones, and it's called the Merlot color, and you can see they have also on all of the corners put on the little anti-scratch pads, so that when it hangs against the wall, it's going to bump into these before it bumps into the frame, so the frame won't get damaged and it won't damage your walls. So I'm gonna release this from the cardboard and I will be right back. Okay, so what I use to do this is I have a super thin butter knife, and I use the not serrated edges. I use the flat edge here because I don't want to scratch anything, and I just slide it underneath, and then you bend this up so it's out of the way, being careful not to damage anything. And I'm going to do that all the way around until I have it all of them bent up like this, so that I can pull out the backing as well as the acrylic that is on the front. Now, this particular one, I did not get the anti-glare acrylic. I just got the regular acrylic. Acrylic is all they offer. They don't offer a glass option. It would be too expensive to ship. However, if you wanted to get these frames and then you wanted to go to your local glass supplier and get glass cut to size, you could probably do that. Okay, now I just need to pull out the backing and the acrylic. Now for this one, you can see it still does have the film on both sides, so I need to take that off, and then I'm going to dust it off with my microfiber cloth, and then I will lay it back down, and then I'm going to use the backing board over here to make sure that I have my painting cut to the right size. Now, this one, I have not cut the edges of the canvas off because I wanted to wait until the frame came to see where I needed to do my trimming. So I will use my backer board here to figure out where I need to cut. I should have a little bit of an overhang. Again, artwork is made, the way that they make frames is that they figure 1/4 inch on each side of your art is going to be covered by the frame. So you can see, you know, this little inset where the acrylic and the backer and the art lay. So that 1/4 inch is going to be covered up when you view it from the front. So what I did was I added a 1/2 inch to my measurements, because it's 1/4 inch all the way around and you only give them 2 measurements, the width and the height. So we added a 1/2 inch because, again, I want all of my diamonds to be visible. I don't want any of them to be behind this 1/4 inch where the frame overhang is. So we'll see how well I did. I'm going to peel off the pieces of the acrylic, wipe it off, put it back in here, and then I'm going to do some cutting and see how well I did. Be back in a bit. So I made a mistake. When we were measuring, I have cut down my canvas so that it fits in here. And what you can see is that I still have a small 1/4 inch of washi tape around here. I could peel off the washi tape, but then it would be white. Unfortunately, it is slightly bigger than 1/4 inch, so my 1/4 inch measurement where it should be hidden if I put this inside the frame is not. And you can see, while my diamonds are all there, there is about 1/4 of an inch that needs to be hidden where you can still see the washi tape where I did not cut it off because I made a mistake in my measurements. I am going to roll with the punches. I happen to have some black paint on hand. I was actually going to do this as a test video to show you guys, but I guess I'll just do it now. I'm going to peel off the washi tape where the white canvas is. I'm going to paint it black so that that will hopefully fade into the background, and then you'll be able to see all of the diamonds, and it will get rid of the, of course, the brown washi tape will be gone. It will just be black, and it will look a little bit like a matte, I hope. I'm going to go do that, and I'll be back. Okay, guys, you can see, at least I hope you can, what I have done here. Because we mismeasured, my frame is slightly larger, and it is not going to hide all of the edges where the washi tape was as I'd hoped. So what I did was I cut off half of the washi tape, and then I got out my black craft paint and I painted all of the edges black. So now they should fade into the background. This is cut, I've dry fit it. It is cut to fit in the frame. It's had time to dry overnight. And now I'm going to rearrange everything, put it in the frame, put in the backing board, and then we'll see how I did. So don't go anywhere, I'll be right back. Okay, you can see I've got the painting in the frame now. I've made sure to orient it the right way because of how my hanger has already been installed. Now I just need to install the backing, put all of the pieces back down to hold them in place. But before I do that, let me hold it up and see what it looks like in the frame. Oh, so much better. Okay, so you still can see, if you look down here at the bottom, you can see about 1/4 inch where we were off on our measurements. That is not going to be hidden, but painting it black has worked. My diamonds are still all not being squished by the frame, so I'm going to call that good. It's not perfect, but it's good enough for me. The edges look a little bit like a matte, almost. If they don't tell me. That's what I'm telling myself. So now I just need to go back with my knife and push all these down into place, and then I can move on to the next painting. Because yes, there is still more. Let me get all these pushed down and I will be right back. All right, I've got everything put back down. You can see here on this one, they've put little clamps around the wire where it's clamped together, or little tied pieces of the wire to hold it together. So I've got this nice and tight. I have my gorgeous diamond painting. You can see the reflection of my lights, don't mind that. This is, like I said, not the anti-glare one, but you can see the shimmer and sparkle. Let me zoom out a bit here. So yeah, you can see, if you get up really close, you can see the edges of the canvas. So like I said, you need to be really careful with your measurements. We measured with a sewing tape, which they do not recommend. They recommend that you use something hard like a ruler or a yardstick, because the fabric tape can move and give you some off measurements. I have gone back since and measured it, and I still don't know what we did wrong because I'm still getting the same measurements. And I mean, the frame is the right size. They didn't make a mistake. They sent what I asked them to send. So we had to have made a mistake in measuring. But yeah, it all worked out. Just a little bit of finesse on my part, painting the edges black, and she's good to go. Look at that face. I can't wait to hang her up and see what it looks like. Hang on and I'll be right back with the next one. And here we have frame number 3. This one is another wood frame, and I don't remember off the top of my head the name of it. I'll stick it there when I look it up and find it. This one is, as you can see, a rectangular painting rather than a square. I wanted to try a variety. They have wood and metal frames, and I wanted to try a variety of sizes and shapes and styles to kind of give you guys an overview of what you can get. And as I already said, the red frame was the only one that I ordered with the anti-glare. So all of these are just going to be their clear acrylic, which I think is fine. My Diana, though not in a frame from Frame It Easy, is also under acrylic, and I really love the way she sparkles and shines as I move around the room. Whenever we have different lights on, it causes, you know, different reflections off of it, and I added a lot of ABs into that one and it made it look really, really good. I will let you know after I get the spaniel hung up if it made a difference, but right now, just looking at them, I can tell you that my preference would be the clear acrylic rather than the anti-glare. The anti-glare is helpful if it's a piece of, you know, artwork that you're going to be hanging in direct sunlight, that kind of thing, to help block some UV rays, and maybe make it not reflect off of the clear acrylic into your eyes, but that may not be what you want. I don't have a ton of windows in my house, and I try not to hang things where direct sunlight is going to be on them. So, that's up to you. But anyway, all right, so you know the drill. I need to cut these, get it out of the cardboard. Because this is a wood one, they have already attached the wire up there at the top. I just need to get out my knife, fold all these tabs back, pull out the backing and the acrylic, pull the film off the acrylic, and then prep my painting for insertion. And let's all cross my fingers that we measured this one correctly. So don't go anywhere. So I made the same mistake on this one that I made on the Jules and Verne. I did not measure it correctly. I'm off by only a 1/16, but when you make that a 1/16 on both sides, that means I'm off an 1/8. And then I added on a 1/4 inch on each side because I wanted all the diamonds to be displayed. What I am learning is it is very frustrating to have to go back and paint all these edges into a color that makes it blend into the background, and then cut it to fit in the frame. And I think I've decided I'm being too precious about making sure that I'm not losing a row of diamonds. In the wood frames, where it's just being sandwiched with these little tabs, it's a little bit different. There's certainly enough room to sandwich the diamonds, so that's not the big deal. In the metal frames, there is more than enough room between the acrylic and the backing for you to slip in diamond painting with no problems, and still have enough room with those little push pieces that you get in there to make it stay flat. So I think for ease of putting it together when you get the frame, for putting the thing in the frame and everything, assuming you have the right size, I like the wood ones. But you certainly get more room for the diamond paintings with the metal frames. That being said, yeah, even a 1/16 of an inch makes a difference. So I've gone in and I have cut down the sides of this just like I did with Jules and Verne. I have gone over it with black paint around all of the edges so it will fade into the background. So now I'm going to fit this into the frame. Then I'm going to put the backing in. Then I'll show you what it looks like. So don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. All right. The other thing that I did with this one is, I don't know that it was a mistake. When I ordered this painting, I wanted to be able to hang it vertically. So I gave them a width and a height, and that is how they put on the hanger, which is what I ordered. What I realized after getting it was that the place that I would like to hang it, I would need to hang it horizontally rather than vertically. It looks fine either way because it is an abstract. So if I wanted to hang it, this was the way I envisioned hanging it in the space that I found. This is what I wanted. However, what I am finding is because of the way that I ordered it, so it's going to hang this way, which is not a big deal. And I mean, my husband and I could go in and we could put in a different hanger on the back so that we could hang it the way that we wanted, but it's all good. You can see kind of the shadows on the edges where I have painted the canvas because my measurements were just a teensy bit off. That 1/16 of an inch does make a difference, but as you move around, you will not be able to see it. It actually makes it look kind of like the shadow. If you were getting a matte, it probably wouldn't make any difference. I opted not to go for the matte because, again, I wanted all of the diamonds to show. I think one of the lessons I have learned is that I'm going to be less precious, like I said, about, insisting that every single diamond show in the painting. I think that's maybe a little bit unrealistic, and it just makes measuring everything harder than it has to be. And, my own fault, like I said, one of the mistakes that we made was we used it's my mom's measuring tape, the one that I use in all of my videos where I measure everything. I'm still going to use it. It is slightly off. It is less than a 1/16 of an inch off. So for most things, it's not going to make a difference. But for something like this, we should have used our, actual measuring tape, hardware measuring tape, or I should have used a ruler or something. But it's all working out. So I'm happy with it. I think this looks really good. And now I've only got one more to go. I'm super happy with how this turned out. Maybe after I decide where all these are going to hang, I'll take some pictures and post them. On to frame number 4. Okay, guys, here is frame number 4. 2 guesses which painting this is for. It is a metal frame. in a blue. And again, the edges are going to be sharp because they have been cut. So I just need to undo the screw here and the screw here, pull that off, then I can sandwich it in. Now, let's cross our fingers that maybe my off measurements weren't too terrible for this one. Again, this is going to be the regular acrylic. I only bought the non-glare in the one painting for the spaniel painting. And actually, after having framed the other three now and looking at them, I've got them sitting around my living room so that I can look at them as I walk by. I really think that the clear acrylic is what I prefer. I can still see the sparkle of the AB drills in the spaniel, but you do lose quite a bit of the shine of just the regular drills. Whereas with the Jules and Verne and the Mosaic one, as I walk by, with just the regular acrylic, you can really see all of the sparkles and the light as it catches on the diamonds. I think the clear acrylic is going to be my favorite. Let me unbox this one, get it ready. I'm gonna dry fit my painting, and then I will report back and let you know if I need to do some finagling with the edges of this one because of my off measurements. Be right back. Okay guys, as you can see here, I have dry fit the painting into the frame. I am overjoyed to report that it looks like I am going to be able to get away with not doing anything special to this one. It looks like we actually measured correctly for this one. So as you can see, this is my Muka from Diamond Painting Shop. This one was entitled Summer. I had ordered from I was going to order from another frame store, but they did not carry acrylic big enough, long enough for this one. And I had several of you recommend that I go to a local glass shop or something if I wanted glass or someplace and get them to cut either glass or acrylic to the right size. But I don't think I could even get a frame size that big. I'd have to go back and double check. Most places that you order online, including Frame It Easy, does have a limit on how big. I think they go up to 62 inches, something like that. I'll double check and put the number at the bottom here of what their maximum sizes are, but I think this is stretching the limits. However, like I said, I think we measured correctly on this one. We got lucky. It's going to turn out the way that I want. So I need to pull out the acrylic now that I've dry fit it and peel off the film on both sides of the acrylic, slide it back in there. And then I need to take that piece laying over there and attach it back to the end of this side. And then I will be able to show you what not only this completed painting looks like, but all the other ones as well. After I get all the acrylic peeled, I'll be back. So you can see over here at the edges, I managed to measure this one correctly. That is the last, this gray row is the last row of my drills, and on both this side and this side over here, you can see that is the drill that is showing on the edge. I hope you can, that my last row of drills is the row that is showing here. And here she is in all of her glory. I love how this one turned out, and I'm so happy that we framed her and measured her correctly. You guys, it is almost impossible to get a good picture of a framed photo or a framed piece of artwork without all kinds of reflections, beyond my capabilities anyway. So I put this collage together so you can see what they look like. I'm thrilled with the way they turned out, and so thankful to Frame It Easy for asking me to do this collaboration so that I could bring this to you and show you guys how awesome your diamond paintings can look. Again, I will say that the anti-glare is not my favorite for diamond paintings, and I am going to stick with the acrylic because I think the anti-glare just dulls the shine a little bit more than I want. Sorry that this video was so long, you guys, but I really wanted to take the opportunity to show you all the things that you could get from Frame It Easy. I'm super happy with how all of these turned out. I love the red metal of the spaniel. I think the Merlot wood around Jules and Verne nicely complements the colors. I like the cream of the mosaic one, the abstract one, and I absolutely love how the Muka turned out. I am definitely going to be finishing my other Muka, and when I do, I will be heading back to Frame It Easy. Again, a huge thank you to Frame It Easy for making this collaboration possible. I will link all of the stuff down below. Make sure you check out the description box, because not only will it have all of the various links, but it will also have a special discount code that Frame It Easy has generously offered to anyone who uses it. So if you like what you see and you want to order something from them, make sure you check out that discount code so that you can save some money on your frame. Thanks for sticking around till the end of the video, guys. Before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.